aquarium with large predators in it, there's still an advantage keeping the calcium, the magnesium and the KH correct, because you'll find the water's a lot more stable, and you'll find that with the elevated magnesium and calcium levels, as well as the elevated KH levels, you'll find it'll disencourage algae, stabilize the tank and have a bunch of benefits. Also, I do believe that in regards to stabilizing the tank, if you stabilize the calcium, the carbonate and the magnesium, the collective amount of the three that you're adding, I believe to be fairly similar to if you're just adding the KH. For example, most people will just add KH to a tank like this that doesn't have corals in it, and you find you go through a lot more KH if your water's not stable. Now, the calcium and carbonate bonds via magnesium. So if you get the calcium, carbonate, magnesium right, then your KH will tend to go down slower. So it seems to work out pretty much the same. Now, if this had corals in it, I would use liquids, because liquids are always a steady dose, and we run a dosing pump, and that pumps the water out of the bottles through the dosing pump and into the sump. Now, for a coral tank, that needs to be really stable. So having the correct amount of solution is really, really important. Now, if for a tank like this without invertebrates and just big fish tank, the fish are much more flexible and they're much tougher. So in that case, you might decide to use powders. Now, powders are heaps cheaper. So you're going to save money, but your end result tends not to be as stable. So there is a payoff of stability versus cost. So with this tank here, I'll buy this and I'll have it for a very, very long time. If I buy liquids, then I will sort of burn through them. If I had a coral tank, I see justification in the liquids. If I don't have a coral tank, then I would tend to mix up the solutions with the powder, knowing that it's not quite as accurate, but the value is there. Anyway, put a little note on the bottom of the video. Are you a powder guy? Are you a liquid guy? And why? And my advice is simple. If you're a coral person, stick with liquids. If you're a fish only person, it is worth looking at the powders, particularly with the big tanks, for value.